Okay, we seem to be live streamed and recording now. So welcome everyone. I'm Paul Sugarman of the Instant Shakespeare Company, and today we're hosting Molière Rendezvous, reading of Amphitrion by Molière, put together by Simone Coenraad. So Simone, over to you to introduce everyone.
Okay, great. Thank you, Paul. Amphitrion was performed for the first time in Paris at the Théâtre du Palais Réal, January 13th, 1668, and was successfully received. Molière took the story from the early Roman playwright Plautus, probably from the period of 190 to 185 BC. In that play, Jupiter's disguising and frolic consummation ended in the birth of Hercules. Our version is translated by A.R. Walker into English, and we will introduce the cast. We'll start with Bill.
Hi, I'm Bill Bleckenberg, and I'm starting off playing the knight.
And Drew?
I'm Drew Bollender, and I will be playing Mercury.
Jupiter? Angus?
Angus Hepburn doing Jupiter, and the Randy god, and Sophie, who is Amphitrion's servant.
Derek?
Hi, I'm Derek Tarson. I'll be playing Amphitrion.
And Elena?
Hello, I'm Elena Rader, and I'm playing Cleanthes.
And I am Simone Coenraad, and I am playing Alcmene. And put it together of this. We are going to start, our scene starts in Thebes in front of Amphitrion's house. We start with the prologue.
Wait, gentle knight, deign to stay a while. Some help is needed from you. I have 2 words to say to you from Jupiter.
It is you, Signor Mercury. Who would have thought of you here in that position?
Well, feeling tired and not being able to fulfill the different duties Jupiter ordered me, I quietly sat down on this cloud to await your coming.
You jest, Mercury. You do not mean it. Does it mean the gods? Does it become the gods to say you are tired?
Are the gods made of iron?
No. But one must always have a care for divine decorum. There are certain words that the use of which debases this sublime quality, and it is meet that these should be left to men because they are unworthy.
You speak at your ease, fair lady, from a swiftly rolling chariot, in which, like a dame free of care, you are drawn by 2 fine horses wherever you like. But it is not the same with me. Such is my miserable fate that I cannot bear the poets too great a grudge for their gross impertinence in having, by an unjust law which they wish to retain in force, given a separate conveyance to each god for each of his use, and left me to go on foot. Me, like a village messenger, though, as everyone else knows, I am the famous messenger of the sovereign gods, on the earth and in the heavens. Without any exaggerations, I need more than anyone the means of being carried about, because of all the duties he puts upon me.
What can one do? The poets do what pleases them. It is not the only stupidity we have detected in these gentlemen. But surely your irritation against them is wrong, for the wings at your feet are friendly gifts of nature.
Yes, but does going more quickly tire one less?
Let us leave the matter, Signor Mercury, and learn what is wanted.
Jupiter, as I have told you, wishes the dark aid of your cloak for a certain gallant adventure, which a new love affair has furnished him. His custom is not new to you, I believe. Often does he neglect the heavens for earth, and you are not ignorant that this master of the gods loves to take upon himself the guise of a man to woo earthly beauties. He knows 100 ingenious tricks to entrap the most obdurate. He felt the darts of Alcmene's eyes, whilst Amphitrion, her husband, commands the Thebans' troops on the plains of Boeotia, Jupiter has taken his form to assuage his pains in the possession of the sweetest of pleasures. The condition of the couple is propitious to his desire. Hymen joined them only a few days ago, and the young warmth of their tender love suggests to Jupiter to have recourse to this fine artifice. This stratagem proved successful in this case, but with many a cherished object, a similar disguise would have not been of any use. It is not always a sure means of pleasing to adopt a form of a husband.
I admire Jupiter, and I cannot imagine all the disguises which come into his head.
By these means, he wishes to taste all sorts of conditions. That is the act of a god who is not a fool. However mortals may regard him, I should think very meanly of him if he never quitted his redoubtable mien and were always in the heavens standing upon his dignity. In my opinion, there is nothing more idiotic than always to be imprisoned in one's grandeur. Above all, a lofty rank becomes very inconvenient in the transports of amorous ardor. Jupiter, no doubt, is a connoisseur in pleasure, and he knows how to descend from the height of his supreme glory so that he can enter into everything that pleases him. He entirely casts aside himself, and then it is no longer Jupiter who appears.
I could overlook seeing him step down from his sublime stage to that of men, since he wishes to enter into all the transports which their natures can supply, and join in their jest, if in the changes which take his fancy, he would confine himself to nature. But I do not think it fitting to see Jupiter as a bull, a serpent, a swan, or what not. And it does not astonish me that it is sometimes talked about.
Oh, let all the busybodies talk. Such changes have their own charms and surpass people's understanding. The god knows what he does in this affair as in everything else. In the movements of their tender passions, animals are not so loutish as one might think.
And let us return to the lady whose favors he enjoys. If by his stratagem his pursuit is successful, what more can he wish? What, I ask you, can I do?
He wishes that you would slacken the pace of your horses to satisfy the passion of his amorous heart, and so make a delightful night the longest night of all. That you would give him more time for his transports and retard the birth of day, since it will hasten the return of him whose place he occupies.
Really, the employment which the great Jupiter reserves for me is a worthy one. The service he requires of me passes under a very respectable name.
You are somewhat old-fashioned for a young goddess.
Codex,
Such an employment is not debasing except among people of mean birth. When one has the happiness of belonging to lofty rank, whatever one does is always right or good. Things change their names to suit what one may be.
You know more about such matters than I do. I will trust to your enlightened views and accept this employment.
Come now, Madam Knight, a little gently, I beseech you. The world gives you the reputation of not being so scrupulous. In 100 different climes, you are made the confidant of many gallant adventures. And if I may speak candidly, we do not owe each other anything.
Let us cease these reproaches and remain what we are. Let us not give men cause to laugh by telling each other the truth.
Adieu. I am going there to play my part in this business, promptly to strip myself of the form of Mercury and to take in its place the figure of Amphitrion's valet.
I'm going to keep station in this hemisphere with a somber train.
Adieu. Good night.
Adieu, Mercury.
Who goes there? Hey? Oh, My fear grows with every step. Gentlemen, I am a friend to all the world. Oh, what unparalleled boldness to be out at this hour. My master is crowned with fame, but what a villainous trick he plays me here. What? If he had any love for his neighbour, he would have sent me out, and would he have sent me out in such a black night? Could he not just as well have waited until it was day? Can I be heard? Oh, shit. Could I have been... Could he not just as well have waited until it was day before sending me out to announce his return and the details of his victory? To what servitude are thy days subjected, Sophie? Our lot is far more hard with the great men than with the mean. They insist that everything in nature should be compelled to sacrifice itself for them. Night and day, hail, wind, peril, heat, cold. As soon as they speak, we must fly. 20 years of assiduous service do not gain us any consideration from them. The least little whim draws down upon us their anger. Notwithstanding this, our infatuated hearts cling to the empty honour of remaining near them, contented with the false idea which everyone holds, that we are happy. In vain, reason bids us retire. In vain, our spite sometimes consents to this. To be near them is too powerful an influence, allows evil. And the least favour of a caressing glance immediately re-engages us. Oh, but at last, I see our house through the darkness, and my fear vanishes. I must prepare some thought-out speech for my mission. I must give out meaning warlike description of the fierce combat which put our enemies to flight. How the deuce can I do this since I wasn't there? Oh, never mind. Let's talk of cut and thrust as though I were an eyewitness. Well, how many people describe battles from which they remain far away? In order to act my part without discredit, I'll rehearse it a little. Right. This is the chamber into which I am ushered as the messenger. And this lantern is Alcmene, to whom I have to speak. Madam, Amphitrion, my master, and your husband. Oh, good. Now, that's a fine beginning. Whose mind is ever full of your charms, has chosen me from amongst all to bring good tidings of the success of his arms and of his desire to be near you. Oh, really, my poor Susie, I am delighted to see you back again. Oh, madam, you do me too much honour. My lot is an enviable one. Oh, no, that was well answered. How is Amphitrion? Madam, as a man of courage should be when glory leads him. Oh, very good, capital idea. When will my heart be charmed and satisfied by his return? Oh, as soon as possible, assuredly, madam, but his heart desires a speedier return. Yes. In what state has the war left him? What says he? What does he? Ease my anxiety. He says less than he does, madam, and makes his enemies tremble. Plague, where do I find all these fine speeches? What are the rebels doing? Tell me, what is their condition? Oh, they could not resist our efforts, madam. We cut them to pieces, put their chief, Petrals, to death, took Telebos by assault, and now the port rings with our prowess. Ah, what a success! Ye gods, who could ever have imagined it? Tell me, Circe, how it happened. Oh, I will gladly, madam, and without boasting. I can tell you with the greatest accuracy the details of the victory. Imagine, therefore, madam, that Telebos is on this side. It's a city really almost as large as Thebes. The river is, say, there. Here our people are encamped, and that space was occupied by our enemies on a height somewhere about here was our infantry. And lower down on the right side was their cavalry. After having addressed prayers to the gods and issued all the orders, the signal was given. The enemy thinking to turn our flank, divided their horse soldiers into 3 platoons. We soon chilled their warmth, and you shall see how. Oh, here is our vanguard ready to begin work. There were the archers of our king, Creon, and here the main army, which was just getting to, the main body is afraid. I think I hear some noise.
Under this mask, which resembles him, I will drive away the blabber from here. His unfortunate arrival may disturb the pleasures of our lovers. Our lovers are tasting together.
My heart revives a little. Perhaps it was nothing. Unless anything untoward should happen, however, I will go in to finish the conversation.
I shall prevent your doing that unless you are stronger than Mercury.
The night seems to me unusually long. By the time I've been on the way, either my master has taken evening for morning, or lovely Phoebus slumbers too long in bed through having taken too much wine.
With what irreverence this lubber speaks of the gods. My arm shall soon chastise this insolence. I shall have a fine game with him, stealing his name as well as his likeness.
Oh, upon my word. I was right. I'm done for, miserable creature that I am. I see a man before our house whose mien bodes me no good. I will sing a little to show some semblance of assurance. Oh,
what rascal is this who takes the unwarrantable license of singing and deafening me like this? Does he wish me to curry his coat for him?
Assuredly, this fellow does not like music.
For more than a week I have not found anyone whose bones I could break. My arm will lose its strength with idleness. I must look for someone's back to get my wind up again.
What the deuce of a fellow is this? My heart thrills with clutching fear, but why should I tremble thus? Perhaps the rogue is as much afraid as I am, and talks in this way to hide his fear from me under a feigned audacity. Yes, I will not allow him to think me a goose. If I am not bold, I will try to appear so. Let me seek courage by reason. He's alone, even as I am. I'm strong. I have a good master, and there's our house.
Who goes there?
I.
Who I?
I. Courage, Sosie.
Tell me, what is your condition?
To be a man and to speak.
Are you a master or a servant?
As fancy takes me.
Where are you going?
Where I intend to go.
This annoys me.
I'm ravished to hear it.
By hook or by crook, I must definitely know all about you, you wretch. What you do, whence you come before the day breaks, where you are going, and who you may be.
I do good and ill by turns. I come from there, I go there. I belong to my master.
You show wit, and I see you think to play the man of importance for my edification. I feel inclined to make your acquaintance by slapping your face.
Hey, mine?
Yours. And there, you get it, sharp.
That's a fine game.
No, it is only a laughing matter. A reply to your quips.
Good heavens, friend, how you swing out your arm without anyone saying anything to you.
Oh, these are my lightest clouts, little ordinary smacks.
If I were as hasty as you, we should have a fine to do.
All this is nothing as yet. It is merely to fill up time. We shall soon see something else, but let us continue our conversation.
No, I'll give up the game.
Where are you going?
Well, what does it matter to you?
I want to know where you are going.
I'm going to open that door. Well, why do you detain me?
If you dare go near it, I shall rain down a storm of blows upon you.
What? You wish to hinder me from entering our own house by threats?
What do you say? Your house?
Yes, our house.
Oh, you scoundrel. You speak of that house.
Certainly. Is not Amphitrion the master of it?
Well, what does that prove?
I am his valet.
You,
I,
his valet.
unquestionably,
Valet of Amphitrion.
of Amphitrion himself.
Your name is?
Sosie.
What?
Sosie.
Listen, do you realize that my fist can knock you spinning?
What fury has seized you now?
Tell me who made you so rash as to take the name of Sosie?
I do not take it. I've always borne it.
Oh, what a monstrous lie. A confounded impudence. You dare to maintain that Sosie is your name?
Certainly. I maintain it for the good reason that the gods have so ordered it by the supreme power. It is not in my power to say no, and to be anyone else than myself.
1,000 stripes ought to be your reward for such audacity.
Just as citizens help, I beseech you.
So, you gallows bird, you tell out.
You beat me with 1,000 blows, and yet do not wish me to cry out.
It is thus that my arm...
The action is unworthy. You gloat over the advantage which my want of courage gives you over me. That's not fair treatment. It's mere bullying to wish to profit by the poltroonery of those whom one makes to feel the weight of one's arm. To thrash a man who doesn't retaliate is not the act of a generous soul, and to show courage against men who have none merits condemnation.
Well, you are still Sosie? What say you?
Your blows have not made any metamorphosis in me. All the change there is that in the matter I am Sosie thrashed.
Still, 100 fresh blows for this fresh impudence.
Oh, have a mercy! A truce on your blows.
Then a truce on your insolence.
Or anything that pleases you. I will keep silent. The dispute between us is too unequal.
Are you still Sosie? Say, villain.
Alas, I am what you wish. Dispose of my lot exactly as you please. Your arm has made you the master of it.
I think you said your name was Sosie?
True. Well, until now, I thought the matter was clear, but your rod has made me see that I was mistaken in this affair.
I am Sosie. All Thebes avows it. Amphitrion has never had another man than me.
You, Sosie?
Yes, Sosie. And if anyone trifles with me, he must take care of himself.
Heavens! Must I thus renounce myself and see my name stolen by an impostor? Oh, lucky I'm a poltroon, or by the death.
What are you mumbling between your teeth?
Oh, nothing. But in the name of the gods, give me leave to speak one moment with you.
Speak?
But promise me, I beseech you, that there shall not be any more strokes. Let us sign a truce.
Let that pass. Go on, I grant you this point.
Well, tell me, who put this fancy into your head? What benefit will it be to you to take my name? In short, were you a demon, could you hinder me from being myself, from being Sosie?
What is this? You dare?
Oh, no, gently. There's a truce on blows.
What? Gallows bird, impostor, scoundrel!
As for abuse, give me as much as you please, but it makes a slight wound and it doesn't bother me.
You say you are Sosie.
Yes. Some ridiculous tale.
So I shall break our truce and take back my word.
I can't help it. I can't annihilate myself for you and endure so improbable a tale. Is it in your power to be what I am? Can I cease to be myself? Did anyone ever hear of such a thing? And can you give the lie to 100 clear indications? Do I dream? Do I sleep? Is my mind troubled by powerful transport? Do I not feel awake? Am I not in my right mind, in my right senses? Has not my master Amphitrion commanded me to come here to Alcmene, his wife? Am I not, in commanding his passion to her, to give her an account of his deeds against our enemies? Have I not just come from the harbour? Did I not hold a lantern in my hand? Have I not found you in front of our house? Did I not speak to you in a perfectly friendly manner? Do you not make use of my poltroonery to hinder me from entering our house? Have you not vented your rage upon my back? Have you not showered blows upon me? All this is but too true. Would to heaven it were less real. Cease, therefore, to jeer at a wretch's lot, and leave me to quit myself where my duty calls me.
Stop, or the shortest step brings down upon your back clattering evidence of my just anger. All you have just said to me, except the blows. It is I whom Amphitrion sent to Alcmene, who has just arrived from the Persian port. I who have come to announce the valor of his arm, which has gained as glorious a victory and slain the chief of our enemies. In short, I undoubtedly am Sosie, son of Dave, an honest shepherd, brother of our page, who died in a foreign land, husband of Cleanthes the prude, whose temper drives me wild, I who received 1,000 cuts from a whip at Thebes without ever saying anything about it, and who was once publicly branded on the back for being too worthy a man.
He's right. If he were not Sosie, he would not know all he says. Oh, this is so astounding that even I begin to believe him a little. In fact, now I look at him, I see he has my figure, looks, and manners. I will ask him some questions in order to clear up this mystery. What did Amphitrion obtain as his share of all the plunder taken from our enemies?
5 fine, large diamonds, beautifully set in cluster, which their chief wore as a rare piece of handicraft.
For whom does he intend so rich a present?
For his wife. He intends her to wear it.
Where have you put it until you meet her?
In a casket, sealed with the arms of my master.
Oh, he does not tell a single lie at any turn. I begin to doubt myself in earnest. He's already cowed me into believing him to be Sosie, and he might even reason me into thinking him so. Yet when I touch myself and recollect, it seems to me I am myself. Where can I find some light that will clearly make my way plain? What have I done alone, and what no one has seen cannot be known to anyone else? That at least belongs to me. I will astonish him by this question. I will confound him, and we shall see. When they were at close quarters, what were you doing in our tents, where you ran to hide yourself away?
From a ham.
That is it.
Which I unearthed. I soon cut 2 succulent slices. They suited me nicely. I added to them some wine that I had left and gloated over the sight of it before I tasted it. So I took heart for our fighters.
This unparalleled proof ends matters well in his favour. And unless he were in the bottle, there is nothing to be said. From the proofs you show me, I cannot deny that you are Sosie. I admit it. But if you are he, tell me whom you wish me to be, for I must be someone.
When I shall no longer be Sosie, you may be he. I consent to that. But I promise you it shall be the death of you if you take up such a fancy while I am he.
All this confusion turns me inside out. For reason is against what I see. But I must end this by some means. And the shortest way is for me to go in there.
Oh, you gallows bird! You want to taste the stick?
Oh, no, what's the matter? Great God, she makes the blows ring again. Oh, my back's going to ache for a month. I will leave this devil of a fellow and return to the harbour. Oh, just heavens, what a fine ambassador I have been.
At last, I have made him fly. This treatment has paid him out for many of his deeds. But here is Jupiter, gallantly escorting his lover Alcmene.
My dear Alcmene, forbid the torchbearers to come near. They give me delight in enabling me to see you, but they might betray my being here, and this were best unrevealed. Restrained by all the heavy cares with which the glory of our arms held me bound, my heart is stolen from the duties of my post the moment it is just given to your charms. This theft which I have consecrated to your beauty might be blamed by the public voice, and the only witness I want is she who can thank me for it.
I take great interest, Amphitrion, in the glory which your illustrious exploits have cast upon you. The fame of your victory moves my heart to its depths. But when I see that disastrous honor keeps my love away from me, such is my heart's feelings that I cannot forbear to think ill of it, and to regret the high order which makes you general of the Thebans. It is sweet after victory to see the glory to which one's love has been raised. But from amongst the perils attached to this glory, a deadly blow, alas, may soon fall. With how many fears is one's heart wounded at the report of the least skirmish, in the horror of such a thought. Is there anything that can console for the threatened stroke? And with whatever laurels the victor may be crowned, whatever share one may have in that supreme honor, is it worth what it cost a tender heart which trembles every moment for its love?
I do not see anything in you but what inflames my passion. Everything shows me a deeply enamored heart, and I confess, it is a great delight to find so much love in a beloved object. But if I may dare say so, one scruple in the tender sentiments which you show me causes me anxiety. And in order to enjoy you the more, dear Alcmene, my heart would rather see love only, and not duty. In the favors which I receive from you, may they arise solely from affection, and have respect to my person only. Let not my condition as your husband be the reason for them.
Yet it is in that name that the ardor which burns me holds the right to show itself. I do not understand this new scruple which troubles your heart.
Well, the love and tenderness which I have for you far exceeds a husband's. In these sweet moments you do not realize its delicacy. You do not understand that a heart deeply in love studiously attaches itself to 100 little trifles and is restless over the manner of being happy. In me, fair and charming Alcmene, you see a lover and a husband. Well, to speak frankly, it is the lover that appeals to me. When near you, I feel the husband restrains him. This lover who is supremely jealous of your love wishes your heart to abandon itself solely to him. His passion does not wish anything the husband gives him. He wishes to obtain the warmth of your love from the fountainhead, and not to owe anything to the bonds of wedlock, or to a duty which palls and makes the heart sad. For by these the sweetness of the most cherished favors is daily poisoned. This idea, in short, tosses him to and fro, and he wishes, in order to satisfy his scruples, that you would differentiate, where the occasion affords him, the husband to be only for your virtue, and the lover to have the whole affection and tenderness of a heart known to be full of kindness.
In truth, Amphitrion, Must be jesting to talk thus. I should be afraid that anyone heard would think you were not sane.
There is more reason in this discourse, Alcmene, than you think, but a longer stay here would render me guilty, and time presses for my return to port. Adieu. The stern call of duty tears me away from you for a time, but, lovely Alcmene, I beseech you to at least think of the lover when you see the husband.
I do not separate what the gods unite. Both husband and lover are very precious to me.
Oh, heaven, how delightful are the caresses of an ardently cherished husband. How far my poor husband is from all this tenderness.
I must tell night that it is time for her to unfurl all her sails. The sun may now arise and put his bed out with the stars.
What? Is this how you leave me?
What would you have? Do you wish me not to do my duty and follow in Amphitrion's footsteps?
To separate from me so rudely as this, you villain?
It is a fine subject to make such a fuss about. We have still plenty of time to live together.
But to go in such a churlish manner without saying a single kind word to cheer me.
Where the deuce shall I dig up all silly compliments? 15 years of married life exhaust nonsense. We said all we had to say to each other a long time ago.
Look at Amphitrion, you rascal. See how his ardor burns for Alcmene, and then blush for the little passion that you show your wife.
Look, gracious me, Cleanthes, they are still lovers. There comes a certain age when all this passes away. That suits them well in these early years, who would look ridiculous in us, old married people. It would be a fine sight to see us embracing each other and saying sweet nothings.
Oh, you perfidious wretch! Must I give up hope that a heart sighs for me?
No, I should be sorry to say that, but I have too long a beard to dare to sigh. I should make you die of laughter.
You brute. Do you deserve the good fortune of having a virtuous woman for your wife?
Oh, good heavens. You are but too virtuous. This fine virtue is not worth anything to me. Do you be quite so honest a woman and don't bother me so much?
What? Do you blame me for being too honest?
A woman's gentleness is what charms me most. Your virtue makes a clatter that never ceases to deafen me.
You care for hearts full of false tenderness, for those women with the laudable and fine talent of knowing how to smother their husbands with caresses in order to make them oblivious of the existence of lovers.
Oh, well, shall I tell you what I think? An imaginary evil concerns fools only. My device should be less honor and more peace.
Would you, without any repugnance, suffer me openly to love a gallant?
Yes. If I were no longer worried about your tongue, and if it changed your temper and your goings on, I prefer a convenient vice to a fatiguing virtue. Adieu, Cleanthes, my dear soul. I must follow Amphitryon.
Why has not my heart sufficient resolution to punish this infamous scoundrel? Ah, how it maddens me now that I am an honest woman.
Come here. Come here, you rascal, come here. Do you know, Master Villain, that your talk is sufficient to cause me to knock you down, and my wrath waits only for a stick to thrash you as I intend?
If you take it that way, Master, I have nothing more to say. You will be always in the right.
So, you scoundrel, you wish to impose upon me as truths tales which I know to be extravagantly far-fetched?
No. I am the servant, you are the master. It shall not be otherwise than you wish it, sir.
Come, I will choke down the anger that inflames me and hear all you have to say about your mission. I must unravel this confusion before I see my wife. Collect your senses, think well over what you say, and answer each question word for word.
But lest I make a mistake, tell me, I beseech you beforehand, in what way it would please you to have this affair healed. Shall I speak, sir, according to my conscience, or as usual when near the grave? Shall I tell the truth or use a certain complacence?
No, I only wish you to give me a perfectly unvarnished account.
Good. Well, that's enough. Leave it to me. You have but to interrogate me.
Upon the order which I lately gave you.
I set forth under skies veiled in black crape, swearing bitterly against you for this wretched martyrdom and cursing 20 times the order of which you speak.
What do you mean, you villain?
Well, you only have to speak, sir, and I'll lie if you desire it.
That is how a valet shows his zeal for us. Never mind. What happened to you on the way?
Oh, I had a mortal fright at the least thing I met.
Coward.
Look, nature has her caprices in forming us. She gives us differing inclinations. Some find 1,000 delights in exposing themselves. I find them in taking care of myself.
When you arrived at the house?
Well, when I reached the door, I wished to rehearse to myself for a short time in what tone and in what manner I should give a glorious account of the battle.
What followed?
Well, someone came to annoy me and trouble me.
Who was he?
Sosie, another I, jealous of your orders, whom you sent to Alcmene from the port, and who has full knowledge of our secrets, as I who am speaking to you.
Oh, what nonsense.
No, sir, it's the simple truth. This I was at your house sooner than I, and I swear to you I was there before I had arrived.
Pray, where does all this cursed nonsense come from? Is it a dream? Is it drunkenness, mind wandering, or a sorry joke?
No, it's the thing as it is, and by no means an idle tale. I am a man of honor. I give you my word, and you must please believe it. I tell you, believing I was but one Sosie, I found myself 2 at your house. And of these 2 eyes, piqued with jealousy, one is at the house, and the other is with you. The I who is here, tired out. I found the other I fresh, jolly, and active, having no other anxiety than to fight and break bones.
I confess I must be of a very placid temper, very peaceable, very gentle, to permit a valet to entertain me with such nonsense.
If you become angry, no more conference between us. No, all will be over at once.
No, I will listen to you without being carried away. I promised it. But tell me, in good earnest, is there any shadow of likelihood in this new mystery which you have just told me?
No, you're right. The matter must appear to everyone past credit. It's a fact past understanding, an extravagant, ridiculous, far-fetched tale. It shocks common sense. But it is nonetheless a fact.
How can anyone believe it unless he has taken leave of his senses?
Well, I myself didn't believe it without extreme difficulty. I thought I was losing my senses when I saw myself 2, and for a long time I treated my other self as an imposter. But he compelled me in the end to recognize myself. I saw it was I, without any trickery. From head to foot, he's like me, handsome, noble air, well-built, charming manners. In fact, 2 peas do not resemble each other more. Were it not that his hands were a little too heavy, I should be perfectly satisfied.
I had need exhort myself to patience. But did you not in the end go into the house?
Good, go in, yeah. In what fashion? Have I never wished to listen to reason? Did I not forbid myself to enter our door?
In what way?
With a stick. My back still aches from it.
You've been thrashed?
Truly.
And by whom?
Myself.
You thrashed yourself?
Yes, I. But not the I who is here, but the I from the house who whacks soundly.
Heaven confound you for talking to me like this.
I am not joking. The I whom I have just met has great advantages over the I who speaks to you. He has a strong arm and great courage. I've had proofs of both. This devil of an I has licked me soundly. He's a fellow who can do wonders.
Let us cease this. Have you seen my wife?
No.
Why not?
For a sufficiently strong reason.
Who hindered you, scoundrel? Explain yourself.
Must I repeat the same thing 20 times? I tell you, This I who is more robust than I, this I who took possession of the door by force, this I who made me slope off, this I who wishes to be the only I, this I who is jealous of myself, this valiant I whose anger made itself known to this poltroon of an I, in fact, this I who is at our house, this I who has shown himself to be my master, this I who has racked me with pain.
His brain must be addled by having had too much to drink this morning.
May I be hanged if I've had anything to drink but water. I'll take my oath on it.
Then your senses must have been fast asleep. Some silly dream has shown you all these fairy tales and confused mysteries which you wish me to take for truths.
That is just as far away from the truth. I haven't slept. I do not even feel inclined that way. I'm speaking to you wide awake. I was wide awake this morning, upon my life, and the other Sosie was also wide awake when he drubbed me so well.
Follow me. I order you to be silent. You tire my brain too much. I must be an out-and-out fool to have the patience to listen to the nonsense a valet has to say.
All talk is nonsense that comes from a man who is unknown. If a great man were to say it, it would be exquisite language.
Let us go in without waiting any longer. But here comes Alcmene, clothed in all her charms. Doubtless she does not expect me so soon, and my arrival will surprise her.
Come, Cleanthus, let us attend the gods. Pay them our homage for my husband's sake and thank them for his glorious success of which Thebes by his arm reaps the advantage. Oh, gods, Amphitrion.
Heaven grant that victorious Amphitrion may be met with renewed pleasure by his wife, that this day may be favorable to my passion and restore you to me with the same heart. May I again find as much love as my heart brings to you.
Ah, have you returned so soon?
Really, you give me but a sorry proof of your love, this. Ah, have you returned so soon? Is scarcely the language a heart really inflamed with love would use on such an occasion as this. I dared to flatter myself that I had remained away from you too long. The expectation of an ardently longed for return makes each moment seem of great length. The absence of what we love, however brief it may be, is always too long.
I do not see.
No, Alcmene, time is measured in such cases by love. The slightest separation kills us. The one whom we love to see never returns too soon. I confess that the love I bear you has caused to complain of your reception. I expect different expressions of joy and tenderness from your heart.
I cannot understand on what you found the words that you have just uttered. If you complain of me, upon my word, I do not know what would satisfy you. I think I showed sufficiently tender joy last night at your happy return. My heart responded to every means you could wish to the claims of your affection.
In what way?
I not clearly show the sudden transports of a perfect joy? Could a heart's feelings be better expressed at the return of one husband who is tenderly loved?
What do you say?
That even your affection showed an inconceivable joy at my reception, and that as you left me at the break of day, I do not see that my surprise at the sudden return is so guilty.
Did you in a dream last night, Alcmene, and anticipate the idea, the reality of my hastened return? And having perhaps treated me kindly in your sleep, does your heart think it has fully acquitted itself of its duty to my passion?
Has some malignant vapor in your mind, Amphitrion, clouded the truth of last night's return? Does your heart pretend to take away from me the credit of all the gentle affection I showed you in my tender welcome?
This favor you attribute to me seems to me somewhat strange.
It is in return for the dream which you attribute to me.
Unless it is because of a dream, what you have just told me now is entirely inexcusable.
Unless it is a favor which troubles your mind, What have I heard from you cannot be justified.
Let us leave this vapor for a moment, Alcmene.
Let us leave this dream for a moment, Amphitrion.
One cannot jest on this subject in question without being carried too far.
Undoubtedly. And as sure proof of it, I begin to feel somewhat uneasy.
Is it thus you wish to try to make amends for the welcome of which I complain?
Do you desire to try to amuse yourself by this feint?
For heaven's sakes, I beseech you, Alcmene, let us cease this and talk seriously.
You carry your amusement too far, Amphitrion. Let there be an end to this raillery.
You really dare to maintain to my face that I was seen here before this hour?
Have you really the assurance to deny that you came here early yesterday evening?
I came yesterday?
Certainly, and you went away again before dawn.
Heavens, was ever this debate as this heard before? Who would not be astonished at all this? Sosie!
She needs 6 grains of hellebore, so her brain is turned.
Alcmene, in the name of all the gods, this discourse will have a strange ending. Recollect your senses a little better and think what you say.
I am indeed thinking seriously. All in the house saw your arrival. I am ignorant what motive makes you act thus. But if the thing were in need of proof, if it were true that such a thing could be forgotten, from whom but from you could have heard the news of the latest of all your battles and of the 5 diamonds worn by the patrils who were plunged into eternal night by the strength of your arm? Could one wish for sure testimony?
What? I've already given you the cluster of diamonds which I had for my share and intended for you?
Assuredly. Is it not difficult to convince you thoroughly on that point?
How?
Well, here it is.
Sosie!
She's jesting. I have it here, monsieur. The feint is useless.
The seal is whole.
Is it a vision? There. Will you think this proof strong enough?
Oh, heaven! Oh, just heaven!
Come, Amphitrion, you are joking and acting thus. You ought to be ashamed of it.
Break the seal quickly.
Upon my word, the casket is empty. It must have been taken out by witchcraft, or else it came by itself a guide to her whom it knew it was intended to adorn.
Oh, gods, whose power governs all things, what is this adventure? What can I augur from it that it does not clutch my heart?
If she speaks the truth, we have the same lot. And like me, sir, you are double.
Be silent.
Why are you so surprised? What causes all this confusion?
Oh, heaven, what strange perplexity. I see incidents which surpass nature, and my honor fears an adventure which my mind does not understand.
Do you still wish to deny that your hasty return, would you have this sensible proof of it?
No, but if it be possible, deign to tell me what passed at this return.
Since you asked for account of the matter, you still say it was not you.
Pardon me, but I have a certain reason which makes me ask you to give us this account.
Have the important cares of which perhaps engrossed you made you so quickly lose the remembrance of it?
Perhaps, but in short, would you please tempt me by telling me the whole story?
The story is not long. I advanced towards you full of a delighted surprise. I embraced you tenderly and showed my joy more than once.
Ah, I could have done without so sweet a welcome.
You made me this valuable gift, which you destined from me from the spoils of the conquered. Your heart vehemently unfolded to me all the violence of its love and the annoying duties which kept it unchained. The happiness of seeing me again, the torments of absence, all the care which your impatience to return had given you. Never has your love on similar occasions seemed so tender and so passionate.
Can one be more cruelly tortured?
As you may well believe, these transports and this tenderness did not displease me. If I must confess it, Amphitrion, my heart found 1,000 charms in it.
What followed, pray?
We interrupted each other with 1,000 questions concerning each other. The table was laid, we supped together by ourselves, and supper over, we went to bed.
Together?
Surely, what a question.
Oh, this is the most cruel stroke of all. My jealous passions trembled to assure itself of this.
Why do you blush so deeply at a word? Have I done something wrong to going to bed with you?
No, to my great misery, it was not I. Whoever says I was here yesterday tells of all falsehoods the most horrible.
Amphitrion.
Perfidious woman.
What madness is this?
No more sweetness, no more respect. This rebuff puts an end to all my constancy. At this ghastly moment, my heart breathes only fury and vengeance.
On whom then would you be avenged? What want of faith in me makes you treat me now as a criminal?
I do not know, but it was not I. This despair makes me capable of anything.
Away, unworthy husband. The deed speaks for itself. The impostor is frightful. It is too great an insult to accuse me of infidelity. If these confused transports mean that you seek to pretext break the nuptial bonds that hold me enchained to you, all these pretenses are superfluous. For I am determined that this day all our ties shall be broken.
After this unworthy affront, which I now learn has been done me, that is indeed what you must prepare yourself for. It is the least that can be expected, and things may not perhaps remain there. The dishonor is sure, my misery is made plain to me, and my pride in vain would hide it from me. The details are still not clear. My anger is just, and I claim to be enlightened. Your brother can positively avouch that I did not leave him until this morning. I will go and seek him in order that I may confound you about the return falsely imputed to me. Afterwards, we will penetrate to the bottom of a mystery unheard of until now, and in the fury of a righteous anger, woe to him that has betrayed me.
Sir.
Do not accompany me, but remain here for me.
Must I?
I cannot hear anything. Leave me alone. Do not follow me.
Something must have turned his brain, but the brother will soon finish this quarrel.
Please, I am with my...
Let me see whether he will so much as speak to me. I will not reveal anything.
These things are often annoying when one knows about them. I hesitate to ask her, would it not be better not to risk anything and to ignore what may have happened? Yet at all hazard, I must say I cannot help myself. Curiosity concerning things which one would rather not know is a human weakness. Heaven preserve you. Cleanthes?
Ah! You dare to come near me, you villain?
Good heavens. What's the matter with you? You're always in a temper and become angry about nothing.
What do you call nothing? Speak out.
I call about nothing what is called about nothing in verse as well as in prose. And nothing, as you well know, means to say nothing or very little.
I do not know what keeps me from scratching your eyes out, infamous rascal, to teach you how far the anger of a woman can go.
Hello? What do you mean by this furious rage?
Then you call that nothing, perhaps what you have done to me.
What was that?
So, you feign innocence. Do you follow the example of your master and say you did not return here?
No. I know the contrary too well, but I will be frank with you. We had drunk some wretched wine, which might have made me forget what I did.
You think, perhaps, to excuse yourself by this trick.
No, in truth, you must believe me. I was in such a condition that I may have done things I should regret. I do not remember what they are.
You do not even remember the manner in which you thought fit to treat me when you came from the port?
Not at all. You'd better tell me all about it. I'm just and sincere and would condemn myself were I wrong.
Well, Amphitrion, having warned me of your return, I sat up until you came, but I never saw such coldness. I had myself to remind you that you had a wife, and when I wanted to kiss you, you turned away your head and gave me your ear.
Good.
What do you mean by good?
Good gracious, you don't know why I talk like this, Cleanthes. I'd been eating garlic, and like a well-bred man, just turned my breath away from you.
I showed you every possible tenderness, but you were as deaf as a post to everything I said. Never a kind word passed your lips.
Oh, courage.
In short, my flame had to burn alone. Its chaste ardor did not find anything in you but ice. You were the culprit in a return that might have been so different. You even went so far as to refuse to take your place in bed, which the laws of wedlock oblige you to occupy.
What? Did I not go to bed?
No, you coward.
Is it possible?
It is only too true, traitor. Of all affronts, this affront is the greatest, and instead of your heart repairing its wrong this morning, you left me with words full of undisguised contempt.
Oh, vivat soci.
What? Has my complaint had this effect? You laugh at your fine goings-on?
How pleased I am with myself.
Is this the way to express your grief at such an outrage?
I should never have believed I could be so prudent.
Instead of condemning yourself for such a perfidious trick, you rejoice at it to my face?
Oh, good gracious. Look, gently, gently. If I appear pleased, you must believe that I have a very strong private reason for it. Without thinking of it, I never did better than in using you in such a manner as I did.
Are you laughing at me, villain?
No, I'm speaking openly to you. I was in a wretched state. I had a certain load which your words have lifted from my soul. I was very apprehensive and feared that I had played the fool with you.
What is this fear? Come, let us know what you mean.
Well, the doctors say that when one is drunk, one should abstain from one's wife, for in that condition, we can only have children who are dull and who cannot live. Think, if my heart had not armed itself with coldness, what troubles might have followed.
I do not care a fig for doctors with their insipid reasonings. Let them rule those who are sick without wishing to govern healthy people. They meddle with too many affairs when they seek to rein in our chaste desires. In addition to the dog days and their strict rules, they tell us 100 ridiculous stories into the bargain.
But gently.
No, I maintain theirs is a worthless conclusion. Those reasons come from idiotic brains. Neither wine nor time ought to prevent the duties of conjugal love from being fulfilled. Doctors are donkeys.
I entreat you, moderate your anger against them. They're honest people, whatever the world may say of them.
Things are not what you think them. You can shut up. Your excuse will not go down, and sooner or later, I tell you plainly, I will avenge myself for the contempt you show me every day. I remember everything you said just now, and I shall try to make us use of the liberty you gave me, you faithless, cowardly husband.
What?
You told me just now, you villain, that you could heartily agree to my loving another.
In that matter, I was wrong. I retract. My honor is at stake. You'd better beware you do not give way to that sentiment.
Nevertheless, if some time I can make up my mind to the thing.
Well, just stop talking for the present. Amphitrion's coming back, and he seems pleased.
Scene 4, Jupiter.
I shall take this opportunity of appearing to Alcmene to banish the sorrow in which she wishes to indulge, and under the pretense that brings me here, I will gratify my passion with the delight of a reconciliation with her. Alcmene is upstairs, is she not?
Yes, she is thoroughly upset and wishes to be left alone. She has forbidden me to follow her.
Whatever prohibition she may have given you does not concern me.
So far as I can see, his grief has beaten a quick retreat.
That's Mercury.
What do you say, Cleanthes, to these cheerful looks after his terrible rage?
that we should all do well to send all men to the devil. The best of them is not worth much.
You say that because you are in passion, but you are too fond of men. Upon my word, you would all look as black as thunder if the devil were to take them all away.
Really?
Oh, here they come. Hush.
Do you wish to drive me to despair? Alas, stay, lovely Alcmene.
No, I cannot remain longer with the author of my grief.
Oh, I beseech you.
Leave me.
What?
Leave me, I tell you.
Oh, her tears touch me to the heart. Her sorrow troubles me. Allow me
No,
to...
do not follow me.
Where are you going?
Where you are not.
Oh, that would be a vain attempt to make. I am linked to your beauty by too close a bond to suffer a moment's separation from you. I shall follow you everywhere, Alcmene.
And I shall flee from you everywhere.
I am very terrible then.
Yes, more than I can say. Indeed, I look upon you as a frightful monster, a cruel, furious monster whose approach is to be feared, a monster to be avoided everywhere. My heart suffers incredible grief at the sight of you. It is a torture that overpowers me. I do not know anything under heaven so frightful, horrible, and odious that I could not better endure than you.
Alas, do these words really come out of your mouth?
I have many more in my heart. I only regret that I cannot find words to express all I feel.
Oh, what has my heart done to you, Alcmene, that I should be looked upon as such a monster?
Oh, just heaven. Can he ask that? Is it not enough to drive me mad?
Yet in a milder spirit.
No, I do not wish either to see or to hear anything of you.
Have you really the heart to treat me thus? Is this the tender love which I heard yesterday was to last so long?
No, no, it is not. Your base insults have ordained it otherwise. That passion and tender love does not exist anymore. You have cruelly killed it in my heart by 1,000 keen wounds. In its place stands an inflexible wrath, a lively resentment, an invincible indignation, the despair of a heart justly incensed, which resolves to hate you for this grievous injury as much as it was willing to love you. That is to say, to hate as much as possible.
Alas, your love must have had but little strength if it can be killed by so slight a matter. Cannot jest divorce us? Is there any need to be so roused as a trifle?
Ah, it is just that which offends me, that which my anger cannot pardon. I should have felt less wounded by the justifiable transports of a fit of jealousy. Jealousy makes impressions, the force of which oftentimes carries us beyond our control. At such times, the most discreet mind, no doubt, finds it difficult enough to answer for its deeds. The violence of a heart may have been deluded, has in its very delusion a peace offering for an aggrieved soul, and the love that gave birth to its fears furnishes, in spite of all its violence, at least some reasons to urge as excuse. Outbursts such as these ever have love as an excuse against anger, for love gave birth to them, and we can easily pardon what we cannot control. But to fly into uncontrollable fury in gaiety of heart, and so causelessly and keenlessly wound the tenderness and honor of a heart that dearly loves you, it is too cruel a blow. My grief cannot forget it.
Yes, you are right, Alcmene. I admit it. This action is unquestionably an odious crime. I do not pretend to justify it longer, yet allow my heart to defend itself in your eyes, and let it reveal to you who is to blame for this insulting fury. To tell you frankly, it is the husband, Alcmene, who has done this wrong. It is the husband whom you must blame. The lover has no share in this churlish anger. His heart is not capable of offending you. He has too much respect and affection for you ever to think of it. Had he been guilty of the crime of doing aught that could wound you, he would pierce himself with 100 stabs before your eyes. But the husband has cast aside that humble admission, which should always be yours. By his harsh deeds, the husband has made himself known. He thought the rights of marriage allowed him everything. Yet is he no doubt who is guilty towards you. He only has ill-treated your lovely person. Hate, detest the husband. I consent to it. I yield him to your mercy. But, Alcmene, spare the lover from the anger which such an offence gives you. Do not let him suffer. Differentiate between him and the guilty one. And finally, in order to be just, do not punish him for what he has not done.
Oh, all these subtleties are but frivolously excuses. Such language only annoys incensed minds. In vain do you use these ridiculous prevarications. I do not make any distinction in him who offends me. Everything in him becomes the object of my anger. The lover and the husband are alike confounded in its just violence. Both occupy my thoughts. Both are painted in the same colors by my wounded hearts. Both are guilty. Both have offended me, and both are odious to me.
Well, then, since you wish it, I must charge myself with the offence. Yes, you are right when you sacrifice me as a guilty victim to your resentment. Anger toward me sways you, but it is too just, and all the terrible wrath you show causes me to suffer only lawful torments. It's right that you should shun my presence, and in your anger threaten to flee from me everywhere. I must be a detestable object to you. You are right in thinking ill of me. My crime in being offensive in your charming eyes surpasses every horror. It's a crime that offends men and gods. In short, as punishment for my insolence, I deserve that your hatred should vent its utmost upon me. I beg your forgiveness. I beg it upon my knees. I beg it for the sake of the most lively passion, of the tenderest love for you which has ever been kindled in a human breast. If, charming Alcmene, your heart refuses me the pardon which I have the audacity to seek, then shall a well-aimed stroke put an end to my life and release me from the harsh severity of a penalty which I can no longer bear. Yes, this state of affairs drives me to despair. Do not think, Alcmene, that enamored as I am of your celestial charms, I can live a day under your wrath. Even these moments' agony is barbarously prolonged, and my sad heart sinks under their immortal blows. Mortal blows. The cruel words of 1,000 vultures are not comparable in any way to my lively grief. Alcmene, you have but to tell me I need not hope for pardon, and immediately this sword, by a happy thrust, shall pierce the heart of a miserable wretch before your eyes. This heart, this traitorous heart, too deserving of death, since it has offended an honorable, adorable being, will be happy if, in descending into the place of shades, my death appeases your anger. And after this wretched day, it leaves in your soul no impression of hatred in remembering my love. This is all I ask as a sovereign favor.
Ah, cruel husband.
Speak, Alcmene, speak.
Must I still keep some kindness for you who insult me by such indignities?
Whatever resentment and outrage causes us, can it hold out against the remorse of a heart deeply in love?
A heart full of passion would rather expose itself to 1,000 deaths than offend the object beloved.
The more one loves, the easier it is.
Oh, no, do not speak to me any longer about it. You deserve my hatred.
You hate me then?
I make every effort to do so, and it annoys me to feel that all your insults do not yet carry my vengeance so far as to yield to it.
But why this violence? Since I offer to kill myself to satisfy your revenge, pronounce the sentence, and immediately I will obey.
It is impossible to wish for another's death if hatred be absent.
I cannot live unless you abandon the wrath that overwhelms me, and unless you grant me the favor of a pardon, which I beg at your feet. Decide to do one or the other quickly, to punish or to absolve.
Alas, the only resolution I can take is but too clearly apparent. My heart has too plainly betrayed me for me to wish to maintain this anger. Is it not to say we pardon when we say we cannot hate?
Ah, charming Alcmene, overwhelmed with delight, I must...
Forbear, I hate myself for such weakness.
Go, Sosie, make haste. A sweet joy fills my soul. See what officers of the army you can find and ask them to dine with me. Mercury can fill his post while he is away from here. Come now. Now you see this couple, Cleanthes. Will you follow their example and let us also make peace? Indulge in some slight reconciliation?
For the sake of your lovely face. Oh, yes, I will, and no mistake.
What? You will not?
No.
Oh, doesn't matter to me. So much the worse for you.
Well, well, come back.
No, not likely. I shall not do anything of the kind. I shall be angry. I turn now.
Go away, you villain. Let me alone. One gets tired now and then of being an honest woman.
Act 3.
Yes, no doubt fate hides him purposely from me. At last am I tired of trying to find him. I do not know anything that could be more cruel than my lot. In spite of all my endeavors, I cannot find him whom I seek. All those I do not seek, I find. 1,000 tiresome bores who do not think they are so drive me mad with their congratulations on our feat of arms, although they know little of it. In the cruel embarrassment and anxiety that troubles me, they all burden me with their attentions, and their rejoicings make my uneasiness worse. In vain, I try to pass them by, to flee from their persecutions. Their killing of friendship stops me on all sides, whilst I reply to their ardor of their expressions with a nod of my head. I mutter under my breath 100 curses on him. Oh, how little we are flattered by praise, honor, and all that a great victory brings, when inwardly we suffer keen sorrow. How willingly would I exchange all this glory to have peace of mind. At every turn, my jealousy teases me with my disgrace. The more my mind ponders over it, the less can I unravel its miserable confusion. The theft of diamonds does not astonish me. Seals may be tampered with unperceived, but my most cruel torment is that she insists I gave the gift to her personally yesterday. Nature oftentimes produces resemblances which some impostors have adopted in order to deceive, but it is inconceivable that under these appearances a man should pass himself off as a husband. There are 1,000 differences in a relationship such as this, which a wife could easily detect. The marvelous effects of the Thessalian magic have at all times been renowned, but I have always looked upon as idle tales, the famous stories everyone talks of. It would be a hard fate if I, after so glorious a victory elsewhere, should be compelled to believe them at the cost of my own honor. I will question her again upon this wretched mystery, and see if it is not a silly fancy that has taken advantage of her disordered brain. Oh, righteous heaven, may this thought be true, and may she even have lost her senses, so that I may be happy.
Oh, since love does not offer me any pleasure here, I will at least enjoy myself in another way. I'd enliven my dismal leisure by putting Amphitrion out of all patience. This may not be very charitable in a god, but I shall not bother myself about that. My planet tells me I am somewhat given to malice.
How is it that this door is closed at this hour?
Hello, gently, gently, who knocks?
I.
Who I?
Ah. Open.
What do you mean by open? Who are you, pray, to make such a row and speak like that?
So, you do not know me?
No, nor have I any wish to.
Is everyone losing his senses today? Is the malady spreading? Sosie, hello, Sosie!
Come now, Sosie, that is my name. Are you afraid I shall forget it?
Do you see me?
Yeah, well enough. What can possess your arm to take such an uproar? What do you want down there?
You gallows bird, what do I want?
What do you not want then? Speak if you want to be understood.
Listen, you villain, I will come up with a stick to make you understand and give you a fine lesson. How dare you speak to me like that?
Softly, softly. If you make the least attempt to create an uproar, I shall send you down some messengers who will annoy you.
Oh, heavens, did anyone ever conceive such insolence? And from a servant, from a beggar?
Come now, what is the matter? Have you gone over everything correctly? Have your big eyes taken everything in? He glares so savage he looks. If looks could bite, he would have torn me to shreds by now.
I tremble at what you are bringing upon yourself with all this impudent talk. What a frightful storm you are brewing for yourself. What a tempest of blows will storm down on your back.
If you do not soon disappear from here, my friend, you may come in for some mauling.
Ah, you villain. You shall know to your confusion what it is for a valet to attack his master.
You, my master?
Yes, rascal. Do you dare to say you do not recognize me?
I do not recognize any other master than Amphitrion.
And who besides myself may this Amphitrion be?
Amphitrion?
Certainly.
What an illusion. Come tell me in what decent tavern you have addled your brain.
What? Again?
Was it a feast day wine?
Heavens.
Was it old or new?
What insults!
New goes to one's head if drunk without water.
I shall tear your tongue out soon.
Pass on, dear friend. Believe me, no one here will listen to you. I respect wine. Go away and make yourself scarce, and leave Amphitryon to the pleasures which he is tasting.
What? Is Amphitryon in there?
Rather. Covered with laurels of his fine victory, he is side by side with the lovely Alcmene, enjoying the delights of a charming tete-a-tete. They are tasting the pleasures of being reconciled. Now their love tiff has blown over. Take care how you disturb their sweet privacy, unless you wish him to punish you for excessive rashness.
What a frightful blow he has given me. How cruelly has he put me to confusion. If matters are as this villain says, to what a state are my honor and affection reduced? What course can I adopt? Am I to noise it abroad or keep it secret? Ought I in my anger to keep the dishonor of my house to myself or make it public? Come, must one even think what to do in so gross an affront? I have no standing, nothing to hope for. All my anxiety now shall be how to avenge myself.
All I've been able to do, sir, with all my diligence, is to have brought these gentlemen here.
Ah, you're here.
Sir?
Insolent, bold rascal.
What?
I shall teach you to treat me thus.
What is it? What's the matter with you?
What is the matter with me, villain?
Hello, gentlemen. Come here quickly.
Stay, I beseech you.
Of what am I guilty?
You ask me that, you scoundrel? Let me satisfy my righteous anger.
When they hang anyone, they tell him why they do it.
At least condescend to tell us what his crime may be.
I beseech you, gentlemen, keep a tight hold of me.
Yes, he has just had the audacity to shut the door in my face and to add threats to 1,000 impudent jeers. Ah, you villain.
Huh? I'm dead.
Restrain your anger.
Gentlemen,
What
he,
is
s-
it?
he struck me.
No, he must have his reward for the language he has made free to use just now.
How could that be when I was elsewhere busy carrying out your orders? These gentlemen here can bear witness that I just invited them to dine with you.
And that is the time he has just delivered us this message and would not quit us.
Who gave you that order?
You,
When?
well, after you made your peace, when you were rejoicing at the delight of having appeased Alcmene's anger.
Oh, heaven. Every instant, every step adds something to my cruel martyrdom. I am so utterly confused that I know not either what to believe or what to say.
All he has just told us of what has happened at your house surpassed what is natural so much that before doing anything and before flying into such passion, you ought to clear up the whole of this adventure.
Come, you can second my efforts. Heaven has brought you here most opportunely. Let me see what fortune brings me today. Let me solve the mystery and know my fate. Alas, I burn to learn it, and I dread it more than death.
What is this noise that compels me to come down? Who knocks as though he were master where I am master?
Good God, what do I see?
Heaven! What prodigy is this? What? Here are two Amphitrions.
Soul is struck dumb. Alas, I cannot do anything more. The adventure is at an end. My fate is clear. What I see tells me all.
The more narrowly I watch them, the more I find they resemble each other.
Gentlemen, this is the true one. The other is an impostor who ought to be chastised.
Truly there is a marvelous resemblance that keeps my judgment in suspense.
We have been tricked too long by an execrable rogue. I must break the spell with this steel.
Say,
Leave me alone.
ye gods, what would you do?
Punish the miserable treachery of an impostor.
Gently. There is very little need of being carried away by passion. When a man bursts out in such a rage as this, it makes one think he has bad reasons. Yeah, it's an enchanter who was a talisman that enables him to resemble the masters of houses.
For your share in this insulting language, I shall make you feel 1,000 blows.
A master is a man of courage. He will not allow his followers to be thrashed.
Let me assuage my deep anger and wash out my affront in this scoundrel's blood.
We shall not suffer this strange combat of Amphitrion against himself.
What? Does my honor receive this treatment from you? Do my friends undertake the defense of a rogue? Far from being the first to take up my vengeance, they themselves place obstacles in the way of my resentment.
What do you want us to decide when two Amphitrions are before us and all the warmth of our friendship is in suspense? If we were here now to throw towards you, we fear we might make a mistake and not recognize you. Truly, to see in you the appearance of Amphitrion, the glorious support of the Thebans' well-being, but we also see the same appearance of him. We cannot judge which he is, or our duty is not doubtful. The impostor ought to bite the dust at our hands. But this perfect resemblance hides him between you two, and it is too hazardous a stroke to undertake in the dark. Let us find out quietly on which side the imposture may be. Then, as soon as we have unraveled the adventure, it will not be necessary for you to tell us our duty.
Yes, you're right. This resemblance authorizes you to doubt both of us. I'm not offended to see you cannot make up your minds. I am more reasonable and excuse you. The eye cannot differentiate between us. I see one can easily be mistaken. You do not see me give way to anger nor draw my sword. That is a bad way to enlighten the mystery. I can find one more gentle and one more certain. One of us is Amphitrion, and both of us may seem so in your eyes. It is for me to end this confusion. I intend to make myself so well known to all that at the overwhelming proofs I shall bring forward to show who I am, he himself shall agree concerning the blood from which I sprang, and he shall no longer have occasion to say anything. Before all the Thebans, I will reveal the truth to you. The affair is unquestionably of sufficient importance to justify my seeking to clear it up in the sight of all. Alcmene expects this public testimony from me. Her virtue, which is outraged by the noise of this mischance, demands justification, and I will see justice is done it. My love for her compels me to it. I shall call together an assembly of the noblest chiefs for the explanation her honor requires. While waiting with you for these desirable witnesses, I pray you to condescend to honor the table to which Circe has invited you. I was not mistaken, gentlemen, this word puts an end to all irresolution. The real Amphitrion is the Amphitrion who gives dinners.
Oh, heaven. Can my humiliation go further? Must I indeed suffer the martyrdom of listening to all that this impostor has just said to my face, my arms bound, though his words drive me mad?
You are wrong to complain. Let us await the explanation which shall render resentment seasonable. I do not know whether he imposes upon us or not, but he speaks on the matter as though he were right.
Go, you weak-kneed friends, and flatter the imposture. Thebes has other friends who will flock round me, different from you. I will go find some who, sharing this insult, will know how to lend their hand to my just cause.
Ah, well, I await them. I shall know how to decide the discussion in their presence.
You rogue, you think perhaps to evade justice thus, but nothing shall shield you from my vengeance.
I shall not now condescend to answer this insulting language. Soon I shall be able to confound your fury with 2 words.
Not heaven itself can protect you. I shall dog your footsteps even to hell.
It will not be necessary. You will soon see I shall not fly away.
Before he goes away with these, I will make haste to gather together friends who will aid my cause. They will come to my house and help me to pierce him with 1,000 thrusts.
No ceremony, I implore you. Let us go quickly into the house.
Really, this adventure utterly confounds the sense and the reason.
Troops, gentlemen, to all your surprises. Let us joyfully sit down to feed until the morning. I intend to feed well, so that I may be in good condition to relate our valiant deeds. I am itching to attack the dishes. I never felt so hungry.
Stop! What have you come to poke your nose in here for, you impudent turnspit?
Oh, gently, for pity's sake.
Ah, you have come back again. I shall tan your hide for you.
Ah, brave and generous. Aye, compose yourself, I beseech you. Sosie, spare Sosie a little, and do not divert yourself by knocking yourself down.
Who gave you liberty to call yourself by that name? Did I not expressly forbid you to do so under penalty of experiencing 1,000 cuts from a cane?
Well, it's a name we both may bear at the same time under the same master. I recognize the Sosie everywhere. I permit you to be he. Permit me to be so too. Well, let us leave it to the two Amphitrions to give vent to their jealousies, and though they contend, let the two Sosies live in the bonds of peace.
No, one is quite enough. I am determined not to allow any division.
Oh, you shall have precedence over me. I will be the younger, and you shall be the elder.
No, a brother is a nuisance, and not to my taste. I intend to be the only son.
Oh, barbarous and tyrannical heart, allow me at least to be your shadow.
Not at all.
Well, let your soul humanize itself with a little pity. Allow me to be near you in that capacity. I shall be everywhere so submissive a shadow that you will be pleased with me.
No quarter. The law is immutable. If you again have the audacity to go in there, 1,000 blows shall be the fruit.
Alas, poor Sosie, to what miserable disgrace are you reduced?
So, your lips presume again to give yourself a name I forbid?
I did not intend myself. I was speaking of an old Sosie, who was formerly a relative of mine, and whom, with the utmost barbarity, they drove out of the house at dinner hour.
Take care you do not fall into that idiocy if you wish to remain among the number of the living.
Oh, I would thwack you if I had the courage for your wretched, puffed-up pride, you double son of a strumpet.
What do you say?
Nothing.
I am sure you muttered something.
You ask anyone. I didn't breathe.
Nevertheless, I am absolutely certain that something about a son of a strumpet struck my ear.
Oh, there must have been a parrot roused by the beautiful weather.
Ah, and you, if your back itches for currying, here is where I live.
Oh, heavens. What a cursed hour is the dinner hour to be turned out of doors. Come, let us yield to fate in our affliction. Let us today follow blind caprice and join the unfortunate Sosie to the unfortunate Amphitrion. It's a suitable union. Oh, I see he's coming in good company.
Stay here, gentlemen. Follow me a little way off, and do not all advance, I pray you, until there is need for it.
I quite understand this blow touches you to the heart.
Ah, my sorrow is bitter through and through. I suffer in my affection as much as in my honor.
If this resemblance is such as it said, Alcmene, without being guilty.
In this affair, a simple error becomes a veritable crime, and though no way contenting, innocence perishes in it. Such errors, in whatever way we look at them, affect us in the most sensitive parts. Reason often pardons them, but when honor and love cannot.
I do not bother my thoughts about that. I hate your gentlemen for their disgraceful delay. It is a proceeding which wounds me to the quick, and one which courageous people will never approve. When any man has need of us, we ought to throw ourselves head foremost into his concerns. Our Gantifontidas is not one for compromising matters. It does not seem me for men of honor to listen to the arguments of a friend's adversary. One should only listen to vengeance at such times. The proceeding does not please me. In quarrels such as these, we ought always to begin sending the sword through the body without any nonsense. Yes, whatever happens, you shall see that Argatifontidas goes straight to the point. I entreat you not to let the villain die by any other hand than mine.
Come on.
I come, sir, to undergo at your knees the just punishment of cursed audacity. Strike, beat, drub, overwhelm me with blows, kill me in your anger. You will do well. I deserve it. I shall not say a single word against you.
Get up. What is the matter?
I have been turned away unceremoniously, thinking to eat and rejoice like them. I didn't think that, as it turned out, I was waiting there to thrash myself. Yes, the other I, valet to the other you, has played the very devil with me once more. The same cruel fate seems to pursue us both today. Sir, in short, they have unsocied me as they un-Amphitrioned you.
Follow me.
Oh, is it not better to see if anybody is coming?
Oh, heaven.
What frightens you like this? Why are you afraid of me?
Why? You are up there and I see you here.
Do not hurry, here he comes to give before us all the explanation we want, if we may believe what he has just said about it. It will banish away your trouble and care.
Yes, you shall all see him. Know beforehand that it is the Grand Master of the gods whom, under the cherished features of this resemblance, Alcmene has caused to descend here from the heavens. As for me, I am Mercury. Not knowing what else to do, I have given him a drubbing whose appearance I took. He may now console himself, for strokes from the wand of a god confer honor on him who has to submit to them.
Upon my word, Monsieur God, I am your servant. I could have done without your attentions.
I now give you leave to be Soci. I am tired of wearing such an ugly mug. I am going to the heavens to scrape it all off with ambrosia.
Yeah, well, may heaven forever keep you from the desire of wishing to come near me again. Your fury against me has been too bitter. Never in my life have I seen a god who was more of a devil than you. Behold Amphitrion, who has imposed on you. Under his own aspect you see Jupiter. By these same signs you may easily know him. They are sufficient, I think, to restore your heart where it should be, to bring back peace and happiness to your family. My name, which the whole earth continually adores, thus stifles all scandal that might be spread abroad. A share with Jupiter has nothing that in the least dishonors, for doubtless it can be but glorious to find oneself the rival of the sovereign of the gods. I do not see any reason why your love should murmur, it is I, God as I am, who ought to be jealous in this affair. Alcmene is wholly yours. Whatever means one may employ, it must be gratifying to your passion to see that there is no other way of pleasing her than to appear as her husband. Even Jupiter, clothed in his immortal glory, could not by himself undermine her fidelity. What he has received from her was granted by her ardent heart only to you. The senior Jupiter knows how to gild the pill. Cast aside, therefore, the black care that stifles your heart. Restore perfect peace to the ardor which consumes you. In your house shall be born a son who, under the name of Hercules, shall cause the vast universe to ring with his deeds. A glorious future crowned with 1,000 blessings shall let everyone see I am your support. I will make your fate the envy of the whole world. You may boldly flatter yourself with what these promises confer. It is a crime to doubt them, for the words of Jupiter are the decrees of fate.
Truly, I am delighted at these evident marks.
Gentlemen, will you please take my advice? Do not embark in these sugary congratulations. It's a bad speculation. Phrases are embarrassing on either side in such a compliment. The great god Jupiter has done us much honor, and unquestionably his kindness towards us is unparalleled. He promised us the infallible happiness of a fortune crowned with 1,000 blessings. And in our house shall be born a brave son. Nothing could be better than this. Yeah, but nevertheless, let's cut short our speeches and each one retire quietly to his own house. In such affairs as these, it's always better not to say anything.
End of play. All right, nice job, everyone. Bravo.
That's exhausting.
You were really doing double duty.
Yeah.
God, yes.
Like the two largest roles on top of each other.
I know.
You get a pay bump.
Yeah.
Bravo, Angus, for pulling coming at the last minute like that. I love
God,
that
you
scene.
think
Both
so.
Angus and Bill. Derek, you were holding the fort. You got those guys
yeah.
on the other end of you switching hats constantly.
That's right.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Who are you
Nice
talking
job,
to?
Bill. Fantastic.
Well, that's
Well
the
done,
last.
everyone.
Beginning with your night. Really nice
Thank
job.
you. That's the last time I'll be using this computer for this. I had to switch them round. I've got another one I'll use next time. Yeah.
Yeah, what was
It's
going on,
actually-
Angus, with your computer?
I don't know. It's just freezing up. I wondered, my printer has just gone and decided it's going to be accepted wireless. So it may have been talking to the modem and screwing things up, but I turned that off. I had a computer next door on. I turned that off. Didn't make any difference. So it's something wrong with this one. It's an old machine, and it doesn't like being treated this way. So, it's just dying on me.
Okay.
I'll have to use another one.
Nice job. A fun play.
It is.
I'm
It is.
laughing. I mean, fun lines.
Oh,
What did you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Plautus's plays are always a real giggle.
Yeah.
And just about everybody's used them at some point in literary history, stolen the stories and done their own versions of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll have to do some original Plautus. I think that would be good.
Hey,
Why
that's
not?
an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe in fact, do this one to see.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Maybe that'll be
Side by
fun.
side.
It'd be fun for Molière Rendezvous to come to the
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
I think there's a Latin version of the original Plautus one, and I think I managed to get Google Translate to actually translate it. This thing keeps freezing on me. I don't know what the hell's going on. There we go. I'll change my video settings.
So when you Google Translate something like that, does it come out all bizarre?
The Google Translate's not too bad.
Nice.
But at least for French and
Yeah.
Spanish and those sorts of things, you
Yeah.
just have to take time to go through it, and you suddenly hit a speech which is complete and utter gibberish.
Yeah. With idioms and things, yeah.
And you just got to work out, what the hell is he actually saying here? Let me fix this.
Yeah.
Because a couple of the Molières that we did earlier, I actually started from the Google Translate, the literal translation,
Mhm.
and then worked with a couple of other versions and made it work.
Yeah.
But it's great, you know. In fact, I think most of my machines now don't let me see the French anymore. They automatically translate it.
Oh, wow.
I must have switched on automatic translate somewhere, and it works it out, you know.
Who else used Plautus? Angus, you said a lot of people used him.
Well, Shakespeare.
Oh, Shakespeare did.
Okay,
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think there are other Molières that he took from Plautus as well.
You see that.
But Shakespeare certainly did.
Yeah, and also a
the
funny
book
thing
of funny
happened
thing
on the
happened
way
on
to
the-
the forum.
Exactly.
That's
I was
right.
just going to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So even Sondheim is not above stealing Plautus.
Right.
Public domain. It's not stealing when it's in the public
Well,
domain.
that's true.
Yeah,
It's called research,
That was a while ago.
wasn't it?
I don't think Plautus has the rights to his things anymore.
I guess all the
Well, you know.
descendants, who knows who they are?
The descendants, I demand.
Yeah, that's right. The last thing you want is to have a Roman legion descend on you.
Right.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to head out because I'm cold and I'm hungry.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Lunchtime here, so.
I love it.
Ah.